questions will come out. Okay, it's cross-referencing, cross-checking information between you. Okay, that's most likely what a code science job is. What we're going to do right now is first get on with the legal stuff. That means that you need this form and a copy for yourselves. I need you to release. That means give me permission to use this information to print it as a research information or research purposes only. And we're going to read it right now. But what you acknowledge right here is that, well, you have a copy of this. Yeah, sorry. You have a copy of this and that you took either a gift voucher or a movie ticket as a fee, as a participation fee. Okay?
Gift voucher?
All right, so I'm going to read it now. The purpose of this study is to retrieve data for future online language learning tools in Finnish language for specific purposes. The study would like to collect different opinions on learning activities and design solutions through teachers and learners' experiences. Also to learn of ways that will help learners gather cultural knowledge crucial for the improvement of the language skills. And legal stuff says, I understand that my participation in this study is voluntary and that I may withdraw from the study at any time without a penalty. I also understand that my comments during this interview will be audio and video recorded, but my personal information such as name, school, major, gender, etc. will be completely anonymized. The collected data will not be used for any other purposes than research publication. As a participant in this study, I will spend approximately 60 minutes for a co-design workshop at Aalto University. The study procedures have been explained to me and I have understood them. Any further questions about the study or my rights will be answered by me. That's my contact information. I have read the material above and any questions I have been answered to my satisfaction. And then you're going to cross out which of these are you going to, well, of course that you received a copy and that you will receive either a movie or a voucher ticket. The movie tickets are here. It's only one, unfortunately, sorry, but the vouchers are right there. There are only 4, so you take your pick. And just make sure that you put your name in print, your signature, and the date and place. Keep one and give the other one to me. Yeah.
No.
This movie ticket, is that like in a movie or?
Yeah.
Just remember to check the expiry date because you forget about that. November.
Wait, directed for this workshop at
Aalto University.
So I think, ya no hay otra.
Okay, I think I have another. Okay, here's another pen, if anybody needs.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have a question. Is that
Yes.
so
This
that
Aalto University?
for this video material, so our, let's say, the images will be used publicly? Or?
No, only the instructions that Numan has
yeah.
is that he has to focus on the table, your hands. Whichever you do with these props that I put on the table, that's what we need.
Okay.
Your hands might show because, well, you're working with the props, and if you need this at some point in order to explain something, then this is going to be shown, but nothing that can identify you.
Okay.
All right, and then the second one, which you can give me right at the end, is demographics. That means I need to know more or less who you are. And here, this also has to do with the frame of reference, the European frame of reference of language learning. That means that you have to situate yourself somewhere in that level or that scale. That means A1, A2, B1, B2, or transitioning from one to the other. That also happens.
Today, 11th?
Yes, today is 11th.
Yesterday?
Huh?
Today is 11, yeah.
Today, yeah.
On the slide yesterday.
And you can give me that at the end. It's not entirely Wait, that might be Armando. Bueno. Hola. Ah, a ver, espérame. Entonces estás aquí afuera. 2 segundos. Aquí estoy, atrás de ti. Gracias por venir. No, te preocupes.
No, but actually, the thing is that doesn't work very
Estamos
well.
nada más en las formas legales y demás.
That's
Okay.
quite.
¿Puedes presentar aquí, Carlos?
Ah, okay.
Do you have another pen? Because this is
No,
not.
doesn't work. Are there any
Hey,
pens?
hello.
You can use this one also.
Pancho. ¿Nos conocemos? A lo mejor una vez me figura que te he visto. Hey, hola, hola. Ah, Armando, mucho gusto.
Hola,
Hola, Armando, mucho gusto. Armando.
Creo que yo traigo una.
Hey.
Yo voy a buscar esta.
Okay.
No, yo no sobre esa. Bueno, déjala que.
Esta es exactamente igual a la que ya firmaste una vez, en donde, si quieres, lo vemos al final para no retrasarlo.
Sale, vale.
Okay, so demographics in your frame of reference.
I have no idea how to. I don't know where I stand on this.
Well, we can dwell on that at
Okay,
the end.
yeah.
Don't worry about it. Okay, consent form, and you need your demographics stuff. Yeah.
No funciona.
Alright. Sorry, yeah, that takes a bit of time for reading, so don't worry about it. Let's get on with it, then we can come back to that and do it together.
¿Lo leo o te lo leo?
Este.
O lo que alcance.
Lo que alcances. Porque ya se pusieron a hacerlas, es que bueno, pues más bien acá.
So all these are they need to answer all this.
Yes, more or less to profile the type of people that I have been interviewing or that have been participating. I don't know how to define my employment status. You can say an entrepreneur.
I could nearly do all the shows here. I mean, we are slightly,
Sorry about
gorgeous,
this. Sorry.
gorgeous backdrop. And it makes you want to be on holiday. I feel we are.
All right.
How long have you been working in Finnish? I guess, like in the Finnish, like
Yes,
as,
using
as,
Finnish.
as
Yeah,
Finnish language.
Finnish language. Yes.
So,
If for me it's going on and off, should I put it all together?
If you can calculate, but you could say also on and off. I've been working in Finland for 2 years on and off in Finnish.
Mm-hmm.
Works out.
How do you define this that working in Finnish? Does that mean that your working language is Finnish or the company is Finnish company or they use Finnish language? Or,
Using the Finnish language, yes.
officially or
Unofficially. No, officially. No, both. Yes, officially and unofficially, whichever you think it's more.
yeah, because like I work is like officially the English, but anyway the working language is also Finnish.
Then,
So-
yes, also. That counts.
And what do you mean about this refer to common reference level table? Where do you have such table?
That table. But you can do that at the end because that means if you are A2, B1, C1.
Okay.
I mean, you might remember by the last maybe Finnish exam that you had, or whatever it is that you now know that you can do without even a certificate.
Okay.
Like this, how many languages do you speak? How much do you learn? I wrote life and school. Does that make sense?
It makes very much, yeah. Okay, well.
Say, what is it? Is the Yuki test? Or
Yeah.
Yki, the kansalaisuus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
so
nationality exam.
I don't remember my. It was from 1 to 5.
Yeah.
No, but for him. So because I think it's because I learned at the university to small courses, but I have done pretty much myself. So
Okay.
I don't know how. I guess that's the level, right?
Yes, yes. If you have the Uki, that's
And how do you write it?
Yki.
Y?
I, och så Y.
Aha.
I.
Ah,
I
I.
understand, yeah. Don't worry, I understand.
And how you determine how many Finnish courses? Do you mean like
How many Finnish courses have you signed up? Either to
so? Okay,
Tuomainen-
not just one time.
Y el
One
número
time.
sería
Okay,
el
so.
nivel, ¿no?
Mhm.
Mm?
El número que son casi sería el level 4, level.
Mhm.
Do you want to tell me what level of Finnish I speak? I put like B2 to C1 question mark.
Okay. Yeah, that's also interesting to figure out why.
Well, because we've spoken, so you can guess.
And
Here?
which level? How you determine the level?
Well, that's
Sure.
something that we have
It's
to
also
come back
here.
to the frame. But okay, let's quit this
Okay.
because I need to move on. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I will come back and do this with you at the end. All right. So first, I need you guys to break the ice. That means that the questions that I have over here, if you can briefly state your name, your field, how long have you been working in this field? Is it in Finnish? Something interesting or anecdotal about your professional experience in Finnish or Finnish culture? You have personal learning strategy. That means, let's say, for example, me. I like to mute the TV and all the subs in Finnish. I try to make sense of whatever it is that I'm looking at, like a movie or whatever, and read it only in Finnish, and I try to retain as much vocabulary as I can, especially better my Finnish because I write it terribly. So that's kind of a personal learning strategy. So if Ina could start.
Okay, so I'm Irina Kravets. I have a master's in marketing, but now I'm an entrepreneur. So I finished with school, and basically my entrepreneur field is Finnish language coaching. So I help people learn Finnish. Or that's kind of like the vision. It's still growing. And how long have I been working in this field? Well, I started my company just over a year ago. And most of the stuff I do is in English because I speak it better, but also because the point is not to get everybody fluent and speak it all the time, but it's to communicate with people who don't speak it yet. Something interesting or anecdotal about your professional experience in Finnish culture. Well, actually, the way that I started speaking more fluently is that I got a job as a gymnastics coach. So I teach kids in Finnish. And that was like they're like blah 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 blah, and I'm like, that's nice. Like, I don't know what you're saying. So that was, well, maybe that's my personal learning strategy, because it was like really intense in the beginning, especially. And now I could just say like, I don't know what that word means, and then sometimes the kids explain it really well. So I don't know. That's maybe the two last ones combined.
Okay.
Okay, Stella? Yes, so I'm Stella. I graduated in master degree in Arto, International Business Communication, and I have been working in this actually marketing communication field for over 6 years in Finland. And the companies I have been in, they are actually, since they are stock listed companies, so their official language is the English one, but often that in the office and also among the colleagues that we use Finnish, if that I'm able to communicate with Finnish. And I think the experience would be, and also the learning strategy is that you need to be self-motivated towards using the Finnish actively. Because exactly like in my working environment, that you can use English all the time or you can use Finnish. So it is up to you which language you would like to use with your colleagues. So I try to speak Finnish with them, and also that often that I listen to local news and TV news. Anyway, since I have been here in quite a long time, so I'm able to follow up most of them. And of course, the writing is a different thing. So, and what else? Finnish culture. I would say, if regarding the language perspective in Finnish culture, is that Finns always welcome you speak Finnish. So if you can speak Finnish with them, that it's always welcome, even though they would also like communicating with you in English. But I think that it's a good idea that if you can use the Finnish to communicate with them. So it's like more you are into the local culture in that sense. And yeah, I think that's all.
Thank you.
Carlos.
Yeah, my name is Carlos, and I'm a teacher at the university. And before I used to teach mostly Spanish and then a little bit of intercultural communication. But now it changed. Now I teach the other way around. And I've been in Finland I've been working in Finland for 8.5 years, but I have been here for 9 years. And something interesting is that because when I was teaching mostly Spanish, the students were Finns, and I think for me at that moment it was very important to speak Finnish. So I really made a big effort for learning Finnish. But then when I taught more intercultural communication, I have to teach in English, and the students are mostly foreigners. So all of a sudden I stopped with Finnish, and I don't know why, but I just got maybe lazy, and that's it. And then any personal learning strategy. When I was very focused in learning Finnish, I stopped talking in English, and I told my friends, like Finnish friends, like, hey, I'm not speaking anymore with you in English, and it was a struggle for them. And but then it got very, very well, in my opinion. And but then I stopped. And nowadays, I think that the only thing that I really do is that I listen the news, I watch TV and stuff like that. But now it feels like it's not unconsciously. I'm learning, but I watch more Finnish TV now unconsciously. It wasn't on purpose to learn, but it's interesting.
Well, my name is Francisco. I'm an architect. I've been here for almost 5 years, and I've been working in Finnish since 2012, so almost 3 years more or less. So I think for me it was so difficult to start to speak English, to start to speak Finnish, but I received a job offer. I was called to an interview, and the interview, the boss or the director of the company told me, well, it was a really long interview, like 1.5 hours, and this is a joke, like the first half hour was in Finnish, the next one was in Finnish, and we end in English because it was so difficult, so exhausted. And he proposed me to give me the job if I promise to learn Finnish in 1 year. So we are going to have the next interview with him in 1 year. So, and if I offer to you this, are you going to sign the contract? And I say, totta kai. So I'm start there. It was exhausted the first 3 weeks. 1.5 months I was exhausted, going home, and like my brain was like this size. But it helps me a lot, and I think my personal learning strategy was like all the time the music or the news to listen. Then if I don't get anything, so I'm just start to write it, and read it and then translate it, and Google helps a lot. And well, I think so. Now I'm working in Finnish, so but that I think I'm not in that level like a professional, like how to say it, like a master. I can translate and everything. I'm just imitating, I think so. I'm imitating like how they speak and what they do and these things because.
We are friends. Huh?
Internal joke.
I could tell another anecdotes from him, but
A lot of.
sorry. Oh, okay. I'm another Carlos, and I do media, and I've been working in this field for 7 years, more or less. Before that, I was already working in another stuff, or trying to work in Finnish. But something interesting. Well, I've been really eager from this day one to learn Finnish, and as soon as I could work in Finnish, I was just trying to switch on it. But I was always in environments when I was kind of like safe. You know, I feel very comfortable to the people. But once I got a job in a production company, and I was completely out of my. I didn't know anyone, and I had to call people. I interviewed them on phone. And I remember going to the bathroom, or going to lonely places, offices where I could screw it up. But I was terrified that someone at the office will find out that, you know, if I made a mistake. I don't know. I remember that first job. It was awful. And if I have a personal strategy, I think I have never cared about how bad or how well I speak. I just spoke. If you don't understand me, that's your problem. No. but I try, and I've been always very curious on. So I've been bothering my friends and everyone. How do you say this? How do you say? How do you say? To the point that they don't want to talk to me. But I think that's it. Those two.
Okay, thank you very much. This was already very, very helpful. Okay, and now I'm going to show you 3 slides where I'm going to explain exactly what it is that we're going to do with those pictures right there. And what I did right now, this is part of summarizing my last paper. It's about learning principles and online tools for cultural knowledge acquisition. So, we are here, if you're ready. We're this 5.2 of the population that has other than Finnish as their native language. We are almost as big as Finnish-Swedish population, if you can check that out. That's interesting. So, okay, for us it's quite crucial to learn Finnish, right? And we do everything in our power. We go to courses, we do different type of strategies, we try our best. But somehow there's one like really key ingredient that is still missing from a lot of the books, for example, and the beginning or the welcoming material for beginners and mid-level learners, and it's cultural knowledge, cultural information. And that type of thing, well, there's reasons for it. First of all, that we are too broad of a scope of learners. So like books like this, like Hyvinmeni and Suomen Mestari, can only do like very broad and vague brushes of cultural knowledge for everybody to understand, but they can't go deep. Okay, so in a way, as a tool, as a learning tool, the book can only take you so far, but you can't really drill down the culture as you want.
Aikuisille.
Mm.
Yes, we are many different kinds of people.
Exactly, define adult, right?
Yeah.
So there is no, there's no recollection of Finnish cultural behavioral patterns anywhere in those books. They're not part of the curricula, like cultural knowledge is not part of the Finnish language curricula for foreigners. It's something that teachers know that they have to bring extra into the classroom in order to motivate you, like to start a conversation, to start you talking, things like that. Like, okay, he looks very bored. Maybe if we talk about music, you'll start listening to me, right? Things like that. Those are the type of cultural knowledge that they bring into the classroom, but because they don't have really other options. They're too busy laying down the basis of the system, of grammar system, for us to understand. So there's no space for that. So teachers do recognize that this is the key for the engagement and the agency of the learner. Agency is what really drives you to, like, don't care. I want to speak it. If you don't understand, well, sorry, that's your problem. Hey, help me out. That's agency. That's motivation. So, okay, but we need to come to terms on what is cultural knowledge. And cultural knowledge, if you're learning language, well, that's already cultural knowledge. How we decipher a lot of what is it that surrounds us, our context, our living experiences, is mostly through language. So that's already culture. But how to define it, because it's so broad? How can you access culture? Through things that you're interested in. So the national standards definition has 3 dimensions to cultural knowledge, which is practice, product, and perspective. And the practice is what you do, what and where. And that is, you don't behave exactly the same at the office, that at home, or a bar, or the church, or with your friends. That's a practice. And in Finland, practices are very defined, just as in Mexico, or in China, or in Romania. Just like rules of engagement, rules of conversation, rules of everything. Products, those are the ones that you're going to recognize more easily because it's your first-hand encounter. Tangible and intangible products, that means food is first order of cultural product encounter. That strikes us all odd, from villi to ruisleipä, right? If you thought it was chocolate, no, it's not, it's ruisleipä. Things like that. And then intangible, music, from Apocalyptica to Rasmus to take your pick, tango, things like that, that are a bit more abstract, but they are cultural products, okay? And then perspectives, they are these umbrella concepts that in a way reflect the idiosyncrasy of the culture. That is principles, the philosophical values, silence is golden, things like that. Retrieval, independence, the value of youngsters over elders, education as a value, nature as a value, things like that. Those are perspectives. So with that in mind, what you have right there are color-coded. Those are little, let's say, cards or playing cards that I put together for you guys. And they are color-coded because they represent either products, perspectives, or practices. The yellow ones are products, and they are tangible and intangible. And then perspectives are the blue ones, and practices are these. What I would like you to do is start playing around with them. There's some, like,
Blanks.
yeah, blanks, so you can write whatever you want on them. There's also same type of color-coded post-its if you happen to run out of the blanks, and please use them. And if you could, at some point, start making first your own strategy. Let's say, okay, I have talkot, which is very Finnish. That means we all get together and we work on improving our common areas. So I used with my neighbors maybe, language there, and that's a very good occasion to start and things like that. That could enhance or provoke activities for learning. Okay? And anything that you can put together is already a very good help for me. So here we go.
So sorry for the clarification.
Yeah.
So if I get this one,
No, you don't get any. You
I'm
choose.
Okay, wait, if he chooses this one?
Yeah, if you choose that one, then that's something that relates probably to your own experiences, and you say, okay, Talco actually is very good because most of the elders of the place come out, and they're really nice to talk to. They have a lot of time. They are very patient. They are willing to correct me in proper Finnish. They don't speak slang, things like that. I can understand them. If at the end you say, okay, well, I actually went to a wedding and everybody got drunk, and that was interesting to see the bride completely drunk. Okay, koulu and työpaikka are, for example, something that is very Finnish. We don't get this in Mexico. You don't have cafeterias like this in Mexico. But this is, in a way, also reflected as a perspective. It's about taking care of the population, ensuring that everybody has one meal, right? So those things that should, in a way, at the background, call for, okay, this is a moment to actually maybe speak with your colleagues.
Okay.
Right? A moment in which you can sit down and ask, okay, I didn't get that from this meeting. Things like that, okay. So it's a combination of everything. You go to the police, for example, you're trying to figure out your next resident permit, things like that, okay. You pay your taxes. Those are good things to do in English, or maybe in Finnish. I don't know, it depends on if you can speak in Finnish or not. and things like that.
So is
Okay.
that we supposed to choose those which are most reflect those counter knowledge?
For us.
Yes, for you. And
For
then
our
maybe
friends.
put them together, yes, because you can actually make some type of storyline, right? With my own time, I like to work with the people that were in Palco, and since independence is very important, for example, then probably I went into a bar very independently and met some Finns and talked, and then since I'm very interested, let's say, in food, then Joulu was a really important moment in which I actually had a big cultural insight. Because sauna, because the food, because of the importance of being with the family, because it's the only time that we actually get together, things like that.
And we write it on those post-its.
Yes, you can put them, like you can make your own storyline and cross-check and work together. I don't have a...
This is like if you have the idea of one of those.
Yeah, if nothing
Something is not
works, yeah, if nothing of this actually works for your purposes, then write them down on the post-its and make your own storyline. And you can connect with his storyline. You can connect with Stella's, with Ina's, with the other Carlos. Say, hey, that actually happened to me too. That is interesting.
Tú estuviste con mi mujer
En la clase, ¿verdad?
Ah.
de Guadalajara, ¿no?
Exacto.
I can't use Talco because my husband is going to the Talco, not me. And he no need.
It's a good time to send your husband to talk.
I have to take care of the kids, so somebody have to look after them.
Can we see those? Yellow one?
Here, these are the... Because this is, I think this one was mixed. This is the... I know what you're saying.
About like the weekend I leave the country.
Yeah, because literature.
I can't take this. Oh my god. What if it feels like really fragmented? Like some of these are more recent, some of these are like when I first got here, and then there's like a huge stretch of time in between.
Okay. What about if you use the post-its and draw out your own? If nothing
Wait,
works.
Which color is which?
Yellow are products,
Okay, product.
practices, and blues are perspectives.
Okay.
Products. So blue is
Perspectives.
perspective.
But I can write this. Which color is
And,
that?
It's a blue.
That's funny because it's also red. So red was perspective or pink?
Pink are practices.
Practices. And
Pink?
then
Blue are perspectives.
Oh,
blue
orange?
are perspective.
We have color.
Yeah, in this case, orange is
Orange. Orange is a product, right? No.
the practice.
Practice.
Mhm.
Product was yellow.
Yes.
Yellow, yeah.
Tangible and intangible.
And we can mix them any way we want, huh?
Yeah, and note that institutions are also a product.
Hmm.
What would be like if I said a word like individuality, which would be something
I
like
think that
it's
would be a
nice.
perspective. It's kind of the philosophy behind
Yeah.
how people work.
It's not individuality. The word I was looking for is more like
Sorry, what are we supposed to write in the notes?
If there's anything that doesn't fit, like if you can't find what you're looking for in these, then you will use with
Okay.
the post.
But otherwise, you just like.
Yeah, play around with the images, and if you think, okay, I go through this and then I do that, maybe I learn more.
So if institutions are products, then our companies also.
So we just need to make up one story.
Yeah, let's say a procedure or a type of activity that would lead you to learning through
Okay.
practices, products, and perspectives, and combinations of those.
We don't have to write on this story, right? We can just
No.
tell it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can just tell.
it's not what I would.
Should we write down the story or just on our mind?
It helps you remind it now that we
That's how
call it.